Hi and hello, I am Athena Pandian here. Welcome to the control system for the biomedical engineers classroom once again. Today we are going to discuss about the example sum of the block diagram reduction. In that way, through the example, I am going to say some of the procedures what you need to follow for all the problems that is coming under the block diagram reduction. Come, let me start the problem now. So this is the problem they are given. So this is the block diagram representation of a system. This particular representation of the system can be reduced by using the block diagram rule for determining the transfer function of the given system. So the question is, they are just given this block diagram and using the block diagram rule determine the transfer function. This is the question. So what is the thing we need to do is, first of all, whatever the question it may be, you should look that if there is any feedback path is there or not. Okay, if there is not there, then look branch point or summing point. If you are moving the branch point ahead of the block or behind the block, or the summing point ahead of the block and behind the block, and then the feedback is frame or not. Okay, so the main thing you want to do is you are supposed to frame a feedback path in that particular system. Okay, then so in that way you just look this particular system. Here it is the forward path. Of course, it is starting from one point and ending towards the another point, that is from R to G1, G2 and C. This is forward path, and again this is also a forward path because it is starting from one point and it is G3 and then it is C. But this is not a forward path. Please remember, it is start from one point and end towards the same point. The definition we know that that is called as the loop. Okay, so all the loops in the block diagram is considered as the feedback path. Here this is connected to the negative of the summing point, so it is the negative feedback path. Please remember. So these are all the things you need to remember. These are all elements, and this is the branch point, and this is input, and this is output. So what is the thing we need to do is, if there is any feedback path is there or not. You just see. This is look like a feedback path, but the only disturbance is here in between the summing point and the G1, the branch point is there. So if we remove that particular branch point, then the route is clear. This particular thing is considered as a clear negative feedback path. Okay. So the thing is, we already know that the rule how we can able to shift the branch point and the summing point. So the first step we need to do is, because of framing this particular feedback path, we are supposed to move this particular branch point ahead of the block G1. So if you want to move this particular block into here, ahead of the block G1, then this particular thing is considered as the feedback path. I already told you, you need to shift this particular branch point ahead of the block. What is the reason? Then only you can able to get a clear feedback path. So that is what I need to apply. I just shift this branch point ahead of the block. We know the rule that if you want to shift the branch point ahead of the block, you need to reciprocate that particular block. So we need to G1, you need to reciprocate 1 by G1 and multiply over the particular system. So I just shift this block, shift this branch point here. So that is what I just put 1 by G1. This is the block I just aheading. So that is what I reciprocated, and then already it having G3. Then I just put. Okay. Don't think that this particular branch point should be here or here. Whatever it may be, that is no problem. Okay. You can able to shift the branch point here itself. No problem. Then just look now. This particular thing is considered as the feedback path. Okay, we can able to say this is the negative feedback path because this feedback path is connected to the negative of the summing point. So we know that what is the formula for reducing the negative feedback path? That is G divided by 1 plus GH. This is the formula we have. But here instead of G, G1 is there. Please don't forget the suffix. Suffix are very important. According to the suffix only, we can able to get the transfer function. Okay, so instead of all these kind of set, we can able to say that G1 divided by 1 plus G1H. Okay, instead of G, I just put G1H. Then come to here. This particular system, that is 1 by G1 and G3, it is in the cascade connection. We know that the cascade connection is nothing but if any elements in the cascade connection, you need to multiply the particular system. So the particular system is converted into the, here it is put G2 and in the upward direction it is putting G3 divided by G1. Okay, we can able to get like this. Then the remaining thing is C plus. If there is, you don't have any space to put minus and negative inside the summing point, no problem, you can able to put in the outside also, but nearby the indication mark. Okay, then. So here we can able to put like this, and this is R and this is C. We can able to remove all this feedback path here in the one block and this two block into the one block by applying the rule. Okay, then now we are going to be able to see this particular thing, this G2 and this G3 by G1. It is in the parallel connection. We know that already how to remove the parallel connection by applying the parallel connection rule. That is by the combination of the parallel connection of the rule, we can able to combine that particular block by adding these elements. Okay, you can able to add these elements by removing. Okay, then R, that is G1 divided by 1 plus G1H. Then we can able to go for adding these two things, that is G3 by G1 plus G2. We can able to convert all the two blocks into one block. Then no need of putting summing point because we are already adding. Okay, so no need of putting summing point here and branch point here. So we can able to go. These particular two elements it is in the cascade connection. So for the cascade connection, what is the rule? You need to multiply that particular system. So if you want to multiply this particular system, the system may be G1 divided by 1 plus G1H into G3 divided by G1 plus G2. So this is the final block we got. Just see it having three elements, one feedback loop, one feedback block, then two summing point, branch point, all the things is converted into a single block because of applying the block diagram rule. So what is the next step we need to do is we need to determine the transfer function. So transfer function is nothing but the output divided, Laplace transform of output divided by the Laplace transform of input. Here C divided by R is the Laplace transform of output and the input. So what is the thing we need to do is we're just putting C by R is equal to what is the element present in this particular block, that is the answer. So the answer C by R is equal to this part. If you want to simplify this, then that is no problem. So here what I did is I just simplify this particular element because this is two elements in the bracket. I just simplify over it. If you want to leave as like this, then that is no problem. But if you want to simplify this, I just show. If you want to simplify this, I just take the LCM here. So that is what G3 plus G2 divided by G1. Then G1 is multiplied. Then here we can able to multiply over this. This G1 and this G1 is got cancelled. Okay, once you are removing this G1 and G1, we got the remaining term G3 plus G2 G1 divided by 1 plus G1H. So this is the final simplification you got in the block. So if you want to determine the transfer function, then the C by R is equal to what is the elements that is present inside the block, that is the answer. So this is how you can able to solve the problem. Hey, that is the main thing you need to do. Whatever the problem it is, the first thing you need to do is whether that particular system have any feedback path or not. If in case the feedback path is not there, then go to the branch point or summing point. Shift the branch point ahead of the block or behind the block and do the same thing for this summing point. If you do that, then after that if there is any arrangement of feedback path is there or not. Okay, you just keep on watching that, reducing the feedback path, then it is very comfortable for you to reducing the block from 3 to 2 or 5 to 3 like that. You're just reducing the block by applying the block diagram rule. Okay, whatever the elements, how many elements, there is no problem. Whether it may be 1,000 elements or no problem. You just keep on watching if there is any feedback path is there or not. Then start applying the block diagram rule properly. Then one by one the block will be reduced and finally you got the transfer function. Okay, so C by R is the transfer function. You can able to write what is the final element block present in it. Then you just write it. Okay, so this is the thing you need to follow. Then in the next class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve the next type of this block diagram reduction. Here in this block diagram reduction, we are going to see only one input and one output. In the next class, what we are going to do is multi-input and multi-output. How we can able to calculate the transfer function for the multi-input and multi-output, we can see in the next class. Thank you very much.